Shalom. Kol halalim la Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, elder bishops of Great Millstone, and a hearty shalom to the prophets of that body, and shalom to the 144,000 and 1/3. May peace and blessings be upon your households. And shalom Barakar. I made a video a few days ago on, there's so many different type of catalysts that will lead a lot of people taking the CHIP, right? And fear factor, right, is something that goes a long way with making people go a certain direction that you want them to go, all right? When somebody is afraid, they will listen to the powers that be, to whatever the powers that be want them to do, because they want to feel safe or be safe. This is going to the definition of fear factor. Definition of fear factor. Fear factor can refer to the level of a fear an individual experiences in a situation or something that causes fear, like a specific challenge or event. And this is going to be a specific challenge or event when the CHIP is implemented. Obviously, we know we're coming to a close of Esau, the so-called white man's kingdom, in terms of his how they operate financially, how people buy and sell, how people track certain goods and services, how people are tracked. And they're trying to create a seamless environment. They give you hints in their movies, shows, cartoons, even the classic movie from 1984 or 85, Back to the Future, which a lot of us have watched. We're back in the day when we were so-called, floating around along with the world, and on days and events like Christmas holidays and certain holidays and whatever, you would watch these certain movies. Nothing wrong with watching movies, by the way. I'm just saying, like even in Back to the Future, they would show you what they would use their thumbprint to pay for certain goods and services. Back to the Future 2, they alluded to the fashion in the future is going to be people wearing their pockets inside out. There aren't going to be any pockets. Why aren't there going to be any pockets? Because there's not going to be no fucking money. There's not going to be no mobile phones. Everything's going to be within the person and the technology. So, along with the financial collapse and people needing to buy and sell and keep their business and their so-called livelihood going, and a lot of heathens and 2/3 that want to hold on to the money or the wealth that they've acquired, they're going to take the CHIP, which is the RF to the I to the D, which is the mark of the BEAST. All right? Revelation 13:16. And another fear factor which comes into people's minds. I don't know whether you guys have been clued up on, where was it? Virginia, right? Virginia. The guy going around, or somebody going around in an ice cream van, and approximately 100 children are being kidnapped per week, just in that specific area alone. I know Virginia is huge, but but that particular area where those children are being kidnapped, what 100 are being kidnapped a week. And when they're giving you that kind of number of 100 being kidnapped a week, guarantee that number is usually higher, right? So the same way they talk about Israelites, how many so-called how many so-called blacks, Hispanics, and natives died during the transatlantic slave trade and all the atrocities that we went through, including Israelite foreigners, of course, all right? The atrocities that we went through, right? They're going to downplay the numbers. The same way with children getting gripped up and taken, all right? And there's many reasons why they take children as well. A lot of it is for the dark side in terms of, it's all dark anyway, but a lot, a lot of these Edomites need their adrenochrome. They like drinking the BLOOD because, paraphrasing a scripture, the life is in the blood. Let me get that scripture first. The life is in the blood, King James Version. All right, hence the reason, okay, 1 second, let me read this. Leviticus 17:11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls, for it is a blood that maketh an atonement for the soul. All right. Actually, there's another one I wanted. I don't know if that's the correct one. Okay. Well, that hits a point anyway, because regardless whether you're human or you're a sacrificial animal, the life is in the blood. All right. The way we sacrifice animals, the doves, lambs, goats for the Lord in the ancient world, Esau, for his religion, which is Satanism, he sacrifices humans, babies, children. All right. And this is what they do. And they drink the blood because life is in the blood. It's like a rush for them, like a hit of crack or a line of coke. You know, actually more than that for them. You know, their eyes light up. They do it for that they do it for that reason. Along with body parts, there's a lot of money in the black market in body parts, melanin, and a lot of the children that are being kidnapped. The pictures that I saw from that Virginia thing and pictures in general in the UK and abroad, they're mainly brown children, and a lot of them look like blacks and Hispanics. All right, along with the body parts, and also to basically harvest you as an Israelite, and also basically they're trying to get rid of you. They're trying to harvest you because we're the superior people, pursuant to Deuteronomy 7 verse 6. All right, all right, and they're using your blood because there's life in it. All right, for their rituals. Okay, and they're also selling your body parts. Okay, and also at the same time, they're letting the numbers and certain news segments out, which the powers of be know they want to put out there. Okay, and this will put fear in people, and this is going to lead them to chip their children because they want to keep their children safe. Let's go to the figures, right? Of I got some couple of stats here, man. Right, this is kidnapping rates World Population Review from 2022. Obviously, these figures have been doctored. We know Esau doesn't give you the correct figures. Whatever figure you see here, you better multiply that by bare minimum by 10. All right, let's just at least that much. But let's just go by what they've given us. All right, America holds the highest rate in kidnappings, 52,441, 144. All right, and that's America leads the way in terms of kidnappings. All right, second is Pakistan. United Kingdom holds the third place. Germany holds fourth. Canada holds fifth. Let's see how many other white man strongholds. I mean, the world is. Oh, Israel, 661. You know, there's more with them weirdos. There's tunnel diggers. Yeah, and Israel. What about these small hatters, 1948ers? Okay, the tunnel diggers. Well, and Australia's in there as well. The tunnel diggers. They had children's high chairs, baby chairs, in underground tunnels in New York, under synagogues, right? Because a lot of these Amalekites, these Edomites, these small hatters, these people from the 1948ers do a lot of blood sacrifices using humans, babies, all sorts of shit. All right, that's their nature. All right, they're the synagogue of Satan, man. What else we got here? United Arab Emirates, Greece, 98, Spain, 90. Well, yeah. But who leads the way? America leads the way, man. In terms of wickedness as well. I mean, yeah, America leads the way in wickedness, man. Kidnappings per country, 2025. It says it 2022. But anyway, the latest figures. But from what I've seen so far on the just titles and different platforms and websites, child abduction has increased over the last 10 years. From what I can see here, it says here, this is from 2009 from the UK. Figures from Reunite show that since 1995, the number of children abducted from Britain and taken to another country has risen by 93%. And there's also sex trafficking as well. The PDF people. All right. Parental child abductions from the UK doubled in a decade. Missing children statistics. Missing children statistics. In the United Kingdom, an estimated 112,853 children go missing every year. So what was the figure here that we just read? 112,000. And what was this shit saying about the UK? Approximately, it said that what you saw, I read, right? Approximately 112,000 plus children go missing from the UK every year. But here it says 7,333. Didn't I say multiply that figure by 10? They're not going to give you the correct figures, man. So yeah, children are going missing. All right. Let's go to. This is going to lead. All right, but you know what it is? The elect can't be deceived. We know what Esau's doing. We can see it. You know, it's like um, a spiritual alarm. You know, where Esau is doing certain things, and through the spirit power of Yahweh Shem Shai, some of us can sort of decipher in our minds through the spirit that okay, Esau might make this move, or this move, A, B, and C, and you try and balance it out in your mind. Okay, this is what the devil could do. This is what they could do. This is what they could do. But either way, we understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to basically put buffers in place where you are directed to a certain direction in terms of doing what they want you to do, which means problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, and the reaction, they use their media because they're the powers that be, all right? Hegelian dialectic, all right? And the solution is going to be what? They're going to say, blah, blah, blah. Can you MICR0CH your child? Safe ways to track your kids, right? And this is called Get Safe, a Bay Alarm medical company, okay? And what do they use here? You know, what looks like to be an Edomite child, you know, a young girl, a young child, you know, going to school, you know, minding their own business. And we see a lot of footage online of, you know, parents coming to the school bus to pick their children up, parents dropping their children off, cute little children running with their little rucksacks on, you know. And obviously that's going to be a fear factor, man. All right. And this is from 2024. Okay. And not to mention children that are ill, children that have problems like autism, children that are, you know, that aren't, as they say, not really up to par in their mind. You know, if you want to say retard, yeah, that as well. And not to mention elderly people, to track them as well, with that have what's that thing where they lose them, the dementia, yeah, dementia, where they forget things. You know, there's many factors that are gonna make people take the CHIP, and the main factor they're gonna take the CHIP is gonna be the finances. No money, no honey, right? So they're gonna take that CHIP. It's only fair to share. Okay, can you microchip your child, or are there better ways to track their location and ensure their safety? In an age where the news cycle often highlights stories of missing children, kidnappings, and other safety concerns, it's understandable that parents might feel anxious about their children's safety. This has led many to wonder about the possibilities and ethics of tracking their kids. You already track your children, don't you? Girlfriends track their boyfriends, boyfriends track their girlfriends, what? The iPhone, and oh, where is he or she? Oh, he or she's leaving the gym. Where's my son? Where's my daughter? Oh, little Tommy is right now. He's on the high street. He's on the strip. He's at a candy store buying lollipops or whatever. I don't know. You know, just thinking out loud right now. You know, they're going to be tracking their children. They already do that with the iPhone, okay, and other technologies, all right, that are external at the moment, okay, but they're going to create something, a situation where it'll lead the whole world, but except the elect, okay, and to take the CHIP. This has led many to wonder about the possibilities and ethics of tracking their kids, including the idea of micro CHIPing them, much like a pet. And they already track their pets. A lot of single women, a lot of elderly people that don't have children visiting them. They don't have a wife or a husband no more. You know, all they got is a dog or cat. They CHIP their dogs or cats because that becomes like an extended family member to some of these people, especially the so-called white man. you know, because they don't really have much of a family structure. All right, they don't really give a shit about each other, man. But we don't give a fuck anyway. Fuck them. Let's explore the nuances of tracking children, why parents might feel the need to do so, the reasons micro CHIPing isn't a viable or ethical option, safe methods for keeping tabs on your little ones, and the legal landscape surrounding these methods. Why would you want to track your kids? The world can be a frightening place for parents. Yep, problem, reaction, solution. Filled with countless stories of children getting lost, being abducted, or wandering off due to curiosity or special needs. You know? And they're going to make a whole bunch of movies around this as well. You know? Movies should come out, or around this sort of scenario. Okay? And not to mention parents with children that are paraplegic or quadriplegic or people in general. They're going to take the CHIP. We already seen what Elon Musk did in June, which was month 6 this year. Kidnapping, although rare, is a rare. Okay, kidnapping, although rare, is a significant fear for many parents, prompting them to consider all possible precautions to protect their children. All right, and women, because they have such an emotional nature, right? Which is understandable because they're mothers. Fathers get emotional too because you love your children, right? But women are really gonna amplify and egg and push on their husband or boyfriend, saying, "Babe, babe, babe, let's CHIP the children, please. Let's do it. Let's all get it done. So we all connected together or whatever. And he's gonna give in because he doesn't know what time it is. I'm talking about Jake. We don't give a shit about the heathen. He doesn't know what he doesn't. He's gonna take it because he doesn't know what time it is. He's gonna think that okay, we're in 2025, 2026, or whatever year it happens, Lord willing, soon. He's gonna do it because he's gonna say, you know what, the world is a more of a technologically advanced world. We're in an AI world. This is the way the world is, and we already saw it in the Jetsons. So therefore, we need to do it because it's the whole world is doing it, and we're in this world, so therefore we have to survive it. So they're going to do it. A lot of people are going to do it, man. Why you can't micro CHIP your child? The idea of your child, akin to how pets are often microchipped, often pops up in discussions about child safety. However, this is neither feasible nor ethical for several reasons. All right, they talk about the positives of CHIPing your children, then they talk about the negatives. Now, if you notice about every news segment that the so-called white man pulls out, right? Every time they talk about something horrible, they always have some kind of small situation. Like, for example, if they say, oh, job companies are closing and Walmart is closing all its stores and it's going to let go of 150,000 people. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. Then they'll say, okay, yeah, but we are going to open a new store called Mail. I don't know. I'm going to make up a name, and we're going to open up a new store called um, we're going to open up a new store called Mallmart, not Walmart, Mallmart, yeah, with an M, right? And it's going to be owned by, they might say owned by a British company or a Swedish company or some shit like that. But really, it's the same people, all right? And then they're gonna say, yeah, okay, 150,000 jobs are lost. All these locations are shut down, but we're going to open up this new store, and this is going to increase job opportunities by 5,000 or whatever. So they'll always give you something like that. The same situation here where they're saying the positives of CHIPing your children are positives from their perspective, of course, and then they say, hey, why you can't CHIP your children? Because otherwise, if they just keep pushing for, yeah, do this, do this, do this, then they're gonna say, okay, the government said to do it, people said to do it, so they don't want to be held liable, right? Okay. Secondly, ethical concerns about consent, bodily autonomy, and privacy make the idea of implanting a tracking device in a child highly controversial and legally questionable. Okay, the notion of microchipping children invokes dystopian imagery and raises significant ethical dilemmas, making it an unacceptable option for tracking child's whereabouts. Safe ways to track your kids. Yeah, they're using GPS trackers, cell phones. We know about that. Is it legal to track your child? All right, and we've got the basics there. But this is going to be there. Why talk about it? If it's unethical, if it's not the right thing to do, why talk about it? Because they're putting the idea in your head. So when it's presented, and they're going to ask people, okay, it's legal now. Do you want to do it for your children? And then at the same time, while these things are happening, there's going to be news coming out of children disappearing. And they're going to blame the children disappearing on immigrants, migrants, maybe blacks and Latinos and Native Indians. They're going to blame them, maybe even blame it on the white man. I don't know. But they're going to do something. And they might even pull out some movies, make some movies on children being kidnapped. I don't know. Esau does shit like that. And this is just another catalyst, right, in pushing to get their people CHIP. Because if children get CHIP, they get chipped, right? Fuck, I'm gonna say the whole word. If they get chipped, right? Parents are gonna say, you know what? Our babies are chipped. We'll get chipped also. Okay? Because parents will do pretty much, for the most part, parents will do anything for their children. And if their children are in that same boat of being CHIP'd, they're gonna say, you know what? Let's CHIP ourselves as well, so our children know where we are. If they're left home alone or whatever, and we've left our elders in charge to take care of the children, at least our children know where we are, so they feel at ease. So the whole family's gonna get it done, man. All right. And here it's already prophesied. The Lord let us know, man. Revelation 13:15. Okay, let's go to Revelation 13:14. And the miracles, right, that we've been seeing is Elon Muskie showing miracles on the left-hand side, right? Making people move things with their mind and shit. Paraplegics and people that, didn't have a full capacity of their brain. They're doing things which they couldn't do, prior to the injury, accident, or if they were born like that, right? Revelation 13:14. No, Revelation 13:14. Actually, you know what? Revelation 13:13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Okay. And we've seen these devil, shoot lasers from space, bring them down from them, because they've got lasers in space anyway, because they've got the lasers ready, because they want to fight the Lord when the Lord Yahweh Shai returns. All right. Verse 14. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Okay. The image of the beast is Esau's system, the new world order system. Okay. The new monetary system, the new system that they're going to propose, or they are proposing, and which they're talking about it. All right. They've got a short time, bruv. They're going to get down. They're going to get down. Our apostles and elders have been saying, yeah, hell's going to break loose. Hell's going to break loose. And you probably think that, yeah, they're just like, it's like a fucking rerun. It's like just a rerun of what they're saying. Okay, yeah, take it as a joke. But when that happens, you're going to be thinking, shit, I should have listened, man. Anyway, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Okay, verse 15. Verse 15. Let's read 14 again. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Hence the reason why they got those guillotines. And I'm not talking about guillotines that you had in your art class at school, which you would cut paper from what was it? From A1 to A4, whatever, slicing paper up. Do you remember the guillotines in your art class? I remember that too. Those guillotines, if you've seen the period movies, set in England or the so-called medieval times, where people put their head in that chopping block and that blade comes down, and they got a dude standing on the right hand or the left hand side with a fucking ski mask on, like a shiesty. But they call them a shiesty or shyster, whatever the fuck you call them. Those ski masks that YNs wear, right? He's wearing one of them. All right, those chopping those guillotines. They've got thousands of those, and we've seen footage of those and tanks coming into America. All right, America is going to be ground zero. Okay, that's the main place where a lot of this shit's going to take place. It's going to, and one more thing, don't get it twisted. It's going to happen in America, in England, and other so-called white man strongholds as well. All right. Okay, but America is going to lead the way, but and everything else is going to follow suit around the world as well. Don't think that this is just going to happen in America and everyone sitting in England and other parts of the world are going to be sitting pretty. It ain't going to happen that way. This is called the new what? World order that they want, but it's not going to come to fruition. All right. Verse 16. And yeah, and if you don't take it, what they're going to do? They're going to delete you. They're going to kill you by, I don't know, by firing squad, by fucking the guillotine. You know, they could torture you to death. They got a multitude of ways they want to deal with you, Jakes, man, and people in general. Verse 16, and he causeth all, everyone, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. That's pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right hand is mentioned because the right hand is a dominant hand for most people. And we've seen people taking in their right hand, left hand, and we've seen what Elon Musk be doing with people's foreheads. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, which is a charagma. In Greek, if you go to the Blue Letter Bible, that's a translation of the word. And charagma means insertion or etching into the flesh. Hence the reason when you see people take the CHIP, what happens? It's pumped or pushed into their flesh. Their flesh is penetrated. All right? Is punctured, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Verse 18. Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is 666. And if you look at most barcodes in the UK, I don't know about America because I haven't been there for a while. And I didn't really pay attention to the barcodes when I was there. But yeah, over here, there's always a 666. I believe it's in the middle of the barcode, in every barcode here in the UK. All right. So the elect are not going to get caught off guard, man. We know who we are now. Brakti Habashimashai. We know where we're from. We know where we're at, and we know where we're going. All right. We know what time it is. The hopeful elect know that. All right. So let me see when his article is from. Oh yeah, February the 13th, 2024. So they're already putting it out there in the elements in your mind, you know. February 2024, just over a year, a little over a year and a half or whatever, right? Thing in Virginia, the numerous children being kidnapped here and abroad, you know, the Epsteins, the Jimmy Saviles, the so-called elites. We know what they're about, and there's sickos everywhere, man. And this is going to be a catalyst or an event which will push a lot of people, right, to take the CHIP. And this is, and not to mention the other elements that are going to be involved for people to take it, okay, especially with the money side, paying bills, having some kind of a normalcy or what they think is normalcy. You know, they'll take it because they want optimism in their life. You know, they want to think of like a brighter future. They want to, hopefully, they're probably thinking, these crackers and heathens and 2/3 are probably thinking, you know what, we'll take the CHIP and we'll try and live like we did, or like it was in the show Happy Days, or the Cosby Show, or you know, one of them shows where everything's hunky dory and shit. But you know, the only difference is, you know, because a lot of people want the optimism back. They want that, you know, to say this time next year everything will be better, or this time next year I'll be a millionaire or some shit like that. You know, they want that optimism, but there's no optimism anymore. You can think that you can have optimism, but it's going to lead to your demise. But the elect are not going to take the CHIP. All right, all right. We're not going to be deceived. The hopeful elect. Let me read one more scripture. If it were possible, they'll deceive the very elect. King James Version. Matthew 24:24. For there shall arise false Hamashiachs and false prophets and shall shew great signs and wonders. We've seen an array of bug outs that our apostles and elders and prophets of Great Millstone have been talking about. Some bug out Jake saying that the so-called rapture or the deliverance is going to be September this year. How do you know? How do you know before Yahweh Shai knows? Propping himself up. Crazy people out there, and there's a whole bunch of other people, and we've seen the false so-called Christs or Hamashiachs. We've seen that cracker in Russia who looks like Caesar Borgia, who's got like some kind of place, like some kind of location where he's built some kind of small little town where everybody follows him and worships him in Russia, I believe it is. It was weirdos everywhere, man. Matthew 24 and 24. Matthew 24 and 24. For there shall arise false Hamashiachs and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, in so much that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. You ain't going to deceive the elect. You understand? You can't do it, as Benjamin would say. You can't do it. Why? You get me? UK Jake. Get me, blood. But anyway, man. Yeah, Esau's a devil, man. Sick motherfucker. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Abaratazal, man. This thing speeds up. This fucking hell breaks loose. Because motherfuck this kingdom, man. We want to go home, and Lord willing, soon. Lord willing, soon. And motherfuck any cracker that's saying, or any person saying, oh, we got another 25 years left here in this bitch. I don't fuck. Listen, if we got 25 years left here, then so be it. We got to wait on Yahweh Shai. There's no other way around it. All right? Ain't no motherfucking plan B. It's plan A. All our eggs are in one basket, in the basket of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. All right? There's no other plan B or plan C. Fuck that shit. But me, personally saying as a man and a lot of Hopeful Elect members, listen, 25 fucking more years? Hell no. All right? We can just about deal with 25 more months. Shit, 25 minutes in this bitch. But we do it. All right? Because Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai gets us through. But that time is coming, man. The Lord ain't going to keep us here too long, man. All right? That's where faith comes in. But anyway, we're going home soon. Lord willing, this thing picks up. And this is just another example of what these devils are going to use to try and push a lot of people to take the chip. Anyway, shalom. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, Mawatha Bad Babal, Kwam Yashrala, shalom.